All right, so we are back with week 3 of the Covered in Grace Grow Group Bible Study. As you can see, I came back inside because the mosquitoes were tearing your girl up. But anyways, let's get right into it. So for week 3, we read we read page 34 of the Bible study, 5-minute Bible study for moms. And it was titled, God is a Safe Place. And we were tasked with reading Proverbs chapter 18, and the key verse is as follows. The name of the Lord is like a strong tower. The righteous person runs to it and is set safely on high. That's Proverbs chapter 18, verse 10. All right, so Proverbs chapter 18, I'm going to give you guys my Cliff Notes version. So when you see me looking down, it's because I'm reading my notes off my computer. That way I'm sharing exactly what I got out of Proverbs 18, while also bringing in some facts from other philosophical writers and even the Bible itself, because always got to fact check with the Bible. So anyways, Proverbs 18, the theme here is destructive power of isolation, power of words, consequences of foolishness, God's justice, and true friendship. So what I'm going to do to break down each scripture is I'm going to read the scripture in the Bible and then provide context for what it means. That way we can just follow along. In chapter 18, there are 24 verses total. So I'm going to start with the first 2, which is verses 1 and 2. And it reads as follows. An unfriendly person pursues selfish ends, and against all sound judgment starts quarrels. Verse 2. Fools find no pleasure in understanding, but delight in airing their own opinions. So essentially, what verses 1 and 2 mean is you've got someone who isolates themselves out of self-interest. So think of those people that are like, you know what? They're hating on me. Let me cut them off and just be solo. So that sort of thing. And then when they're doing that, they have no regard for sound judgment. And that's part of verse 2. All right, so moving on, these next verses are verses 3 through 7, and it reads as follows. When wickedness comes, so does contempt, and with shame comes reproach. The words of the mouth are deep waters, but the fountain of wisdom is a rushing stream. Verse 5. It is not good to be partial to the wicked, and so deprive the innocents of justice. 6. The lips of fools bring them strife, and their mouths invite a beating. And verse 7, the mouths of fools are their undoing, and their lips are a snare to their lives. So, breaking down verses 3 through 7, the wicked bring mess to their lives, and fools are enslaved to their words. Such foolish speech leads to ruin. So essentially here, fools are going to do what fools do, and they're going to get what comes to them. So essentially kind of like reap what you sow. When you are putting out nastiness and ugliness, don't be surprised when you get back nastiness and ugliness. All right, moving on to verses 8 and 9. The words of a gossip are like choice morsels. They go down to the inmost parts. One who is slack in his work is brother to one who destroys. So verses 8 and 9, gossip is harmful and laziness equals destruction. And right here, it kind of makes me think about that verse, man don't work, man don't eat. When you're lazy, you're not going to be able to build anything. You're not going to be able to prosper. So right there, it's plain and dry in the Bible. All right, moving along, verses 10 and 11. We're halfway done, guys. The name of the Lord is a fortified tower. The righteous run to it and are safe. Verse 11, the wealth of the rich is their fortified city. They imagine it a wall too high to scale. And so breaking that down again here, the Lord's name is a strong tower where the righteous find safety, while wealth provides a false sense of security. So just think about what we see on Instagram sometimes, and you can be so consumed into thinking that what you see online is real, when really it's just a false sense of security. All right, verses 12 and 13. Before a downfall, the heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. To answer before listening, that is folly and shame. All right, breaking that down, the importance of humility and thoughtful judgment is stressed here. And so that last part of verse 13, where it says, to answer before listening, that is folly and shame. Think before you speak. Don't just speak because you want to get that reaction. Think about it first and see if it's something that really even needs to be said, because a lot of times it doesn't. All right, verses 14 through 21, here we go. The human spirit can endure in sickness, but a crushed spirit who can bear? The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out. A gift opens the way and ushers the giver into the presence of the great. In a lawsuit, the first to speak seems right until someone comes forward and cross-examines. Casting the lot settles disputes and keeps strong opponents apart. Verse 19, a brother wronged is more unyielding than a fortified city. Disputes are like the barred gates of a citadel. Verse 20, from the fruit of their mouth a person's stomach is filled. With the harvest of their lips they are satisfied. Last verse 21, the tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So let's summarize these verses really quick. The power of the Spirit to endure sickness. We've got the implications of understanding and discerning hearts, and an emphasis here of the life and death of power in the tongue. And I know we hear that a lot of times, there's power in the tongue, and I cannot stress that enough. It's plain and dry here in the Bible. What you say will manifest. So if you are saying things that are good, good will come. If you are saying things that are bad, bad will come. There's so much power in the tongue, and manifestation is real. All right, let's end it out with verses 22, 23, and 24, which is the end of chapter 18. And it reads as follows. He who finds a wife finds what is good and receives favor in the Lord. The poor plead for mercy, but the rich answer harshly. And 24, one who has unreliable friends soon comes to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And so here, the value of finding a wife and the steadfastness of a friend who sticks closer than a brother. And it makes me think, like, really, if you have one good friend and you've got your significant other, your wife, your husband, you're good to go. Like, literally. All right, so that is the synopsis of Proverbs 18. Again, dropping us so many gems. Proverbs are really just a great way to see how we need to be living. I know a lot of times people are like, well, what am I supposed to do with my life, Lord? Like, I just need a guide. Proverbs, that's the wisdom right there. So again, I just want to go back over the key scripture, which was Proverbs 18 and 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous man runs into it and is safe. And then let's get into these application questions. So first one, I told everyone in the Bible study to just write down the things you spend the most time worrying about. And then we just wrote those down and threw them away. So you at home can do that yourself. It's a great exercise to kind of really see like what's taking up space in your mind. So write those down and literally throw them in the trash. Then next, we were tasked with writing reminders of God's promises to us on sticky notes, and we placed them in different places in our home, in our car. That way we'd be able to have pick-me-ups for whenever our spirits are feeling down. And so again, that's another exercise I recommend doing. And then if you do have the Holy Bible app, you should read the 7 meditations on the promises of God. It's a great way to kind of hear the 7 promises God said he was going to give to us. And that's it. That was the end of it. God is our safe space. God is our safe place. And I hope you enjoyed this and meditate on this whenever you can. And I'll see you guys next time for week 4.